Okay, so let's go down to the bottom and say we want to implement the recursive toString. So public string toString return null, just for jollies. So the first thing we want to do, because we want to do it recursive and this doesn't have enough information, we want to actually create a recursive helper method. But before I do that, I'm going to say string result equals, so I'm going to make a bracket around my list. Result equals result plus toString head, and then result equals result dot substring from 0 to result dot length minus 1. So I'm going to strip off the trailing space. I'm about to add that right now. God, it must be late in the day. So most of you just said return toString head, which is perfectly wonderful. We can use recursion in other places and just by itself. We could do it buried somewhere else. So I'll let Eclipse be nice. Bang. So recursive, what's the end case? What's the base case that we know the answer for? Right, so we've gotten to the end of the linked list. Return. I'm just going to return empty string without a space. Although I should probably put the space in here because I strip it off the end in the above method, right? So since I strip it off, I don't want a negative string, right? I don't want a negative value in my substring, so I do need to put a space in there. Return head command period. No, what? No, go ahead. Head to dot data plus a space plus toString head dot next. Oops, head to dot next. And I don't need a return statement, I can't reach. There you go. Yes?
So if you add a space to the end of each head2.data.
Well, this actually, yes, okay, keep going, I'm sorry.
And you add another space at the end when head2 returns null, won't you be left with 2 empty spaces at the end of the list?
I will have 1 extra empty space in the list. Yes, you are correct. But I end up basically sort of screwed either way, right? Because if I don't put that space in there, between them, they're all slammed together.
I just mean like if you also have it add a space when head2 equals null, won't that leave you with 2 empty spaces?
Yes.
At the very end? You only strip away one of them.
Right, so I still have 1 extra space before my bracket.
Yes.
Now, I could, yes, I could strip 2 off. But then if it's, I gotta check to see if it's null, right? I'm always gonna be 1 space off. So maybe the best solution is else if head2.next equal null. Right? Now I could return head2.data plus and now I don't have that extra space at the end. So now I only have 1 space at the end, and now I strip it off. Yes?
So we can potentially return something that isn't a string,
Isn't a string?
that is not a string, like if for the data you chose some object that you made that isn't a string, I guess.
Well, it's a good question, and because your class, whatever class E, it eventually inherits from object, object has a toString method. So when Java sees this, it automatically calls toString on data. You could put it in there, to be really clear, but Java automatically doesn't work. Because you're concatenating strings, Java will convert that, whatever data is, into a string so you can concatenate it. So, yeah, you're sort of right, but no, you always get a string because Java will convert everything to a string. Now, this doesn't really work, it will still work if data is an int, not an integer. Because Java will immediately turn that into an integer called toString and then concatenate it and turn it to a string. So, but you can't, there can't be an int because it's got to be an instance of a class. Any questions?